Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome Courage Magazine Global members and dear audience. I'm Edith Wolek. I'm a publisher of Courage Magazine Global, and I welcome today Debbie Orman. Hello,
Hi, nice to see you here. Thanks.
lovely to have you here. Um, and let me just pull quickly and tell you a little bit about Debbie Orman. She is an occupational therapist trained as a health coach and a life coach. She supports women in managing their energy to be more calm, vibrant, and self-confident. Debbie often supports women in becoming stronger on the outside as well as on the inside. She calls herself the Tai Chi health coach, as she began doing Tai Chi, or she has been doing Tai Chi for the last 30 years. Wow, that's amazing. Tell us a little bit about what do you do and how Tai Chi is supporting you in your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking that question. So yeah, I really have a passion for Tai Chi, and many people don't even know what it is. If I didn't have a passion for it, I wouldn't be doing it for 30 plus years. It's meditation in motion or internal martial art in simple language, and or as simple as I can get at this very moment. But the idea is it's part of my program, part of my steps. Like I have a 7-step system that I've created, and for many people, a very simple Tai Chi move where they're moving there. It could even be simple. There's something called Qigong too that's very similar, and where you're moving your hands up and down and breathing in coordination with that. And that can help with so many aspects of your life. And so often the women I work with, these giving women who are very often, energy workers and so forth, and they are depleted of their energy because it's caught up with them. They've been giving. And sometimes, they're overthinking and they just need to people around the holidays too, just need to come down into their nervous system, calming their nervous system before they can create and before they can communicate. So we just stop and we start with that. And it's very, very effective. It's in the research, Tai Chi is linked to so many health benefits. It's really incredible, and it slows us down. I don't know why everybody doesn't learn it. Sometimes people work with me and they take a Tai Chi class. They end up taking their own Tai Chi class in their community while I work with them and give them a couple simple things, and we can create that as a habit. And then all the other habits fall into place. There's research around that. It's not just because it's Tai Chi, that's even more beneficial, but any healthy habit that you do, you can focus on just that one, and then everything else seems to fall into place so easily. It's almost natural. Like we become this different person because we're doing one healthy habit. People are worried about, how can I change all my habits at once?
Yeah, one habit at a time, isn't it?
One tiny habit at a time, and being okay if part of the progression of a new habit is just realizing that at the very beginning it's not going, you'll get there if you keep going, but sometimes there's that inconsistency at the beginning because you're developing the habit. So if you can create very tiny goals, I support women around doing that together with me, holding their hand and also pushing them at the same time, depending on how much, we always are looking at the person as capable. And that makes a huge difference. Sometimes I see their value and what they can do before they even see it. What are they capable of?
So interesting that you said tiny habit. So it's not like today I'm starting to, I don't know. I recently started reading on daily basis.
Wonderful.
So that was a big step for me because I would be
Nice.
reading maybe once a month or
Hmm.
weeks I would pick up a book,
Yeah.
but recently I said to myself, so I get to read minimum of 5 to 10 pages every day.
Nice.
Uh, so and it's proving to be really powerful for me too. And of course, I had my breakdowns. Like I forgot, or I was so tired. I'm like, I can't even open my eyes anymore and read. So I was in breakdown for many days, but I you get to keep on keep starting, and once you get possibly 20 something days, is it 21 to form a habit? I'm not
Mm.
really the habit uh,
Yeah, I will comment when you finish. I love what you're telling me. I'm very, curious. If I want you to finish your thoughts, and then I'll comment on them because I have a lot to say about what you're saying. It's really interesting.
so
Yeah.
that's what I know, that it takes about 21 days to maybe
Hmm,
9
hmm.
to create a habit.
Yeah.
And you get to keep starting again and again until you get it. uh
Hmm.
it's crucial. That's what I've learned. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about, and
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
also stacking the habits. Can you
Yeah. So glad you asked that question. Or mentioned this. This is so good. To open up a really important conversation. So the way you worded it, first of all, you're correct about, everything you said is correct. I just want to like clarify things in a way that our audience can really get the benefit of how to create a habit. Because it can be sort of frustrating to think of it like starting over. I know you worded it that way. That kind of is what happens. You are sort of feeling like you're not really starting over, though. I'll explain why. So let's say, like, for example, you gave the example of you're resetting the habit, or perhaps it's a brand new habit, who knows, of 5 minute five a certain number of pages per day or minutes per day of a book, and you set a small goal. Now, you set a goal, it sounded like it was every day. I might, if I'm working with a client, have said, no, 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 we're going to start, you can always do more, but we want to create a win first of all. So I might have said to you, look, I see what's going on. It's fantastic. You have a great goal. The number of minutes sounds like really nice. We're sort of co-creating. I'm a coach. We're co-creating. And so let's just say, for example, I would say, like, can we start, Edith, could we start twice a week or 3 times a week instead of saying every day? Because we really want to create a win at the beginning, so you can celebrate that and really acknowledge yourself, even if it's not a huge celebration. It's an acknowledgement, and you feel really good. And then, like, that's how I did it with getting back to my weights routine, my exercise and weights routine. And I was not successful at first. I was like becoming sort of couch potato-ish and low energy during the pandemic, as many people were. And then getting back to the gym, I just didn't want to. I felt embarrassed, like I'm not in shape. And I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't have the energy. So it's the same thing. I'm going to use that as an example, if you don't mind. So let's just say I was coaching myself on this. In my case, I've had many coaches, but this I was coaching myself on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. My husband kept pushing me, like, come on, come on. But I said, I'm going to go to the gym, try for, I'm going to get there. I got there once in the week. And I really wanted it to be more like 2 or 3 times, 3 times ultimately. But I didn't start with that. And I didn't feel really good about it. I went there and I felt kind of crappy and uncomfortable, and I did it. I felt like I wasn't doing it well. Who knows how much time? That was imperfect. Then the following week, maybe I did once, or maybe I missed it. Who knows? The point is that missing it gradually, when you miss it, it's okay, because you're energetically getting closer. You don't think about it, but you're retraining your brain, the patterns in your brain. And eventually what happened was I was at twice a week. And again, I may have not even, it's best if you can schedule the time of day and the place where you're going to be when you're creating a new habit. That's ideal. But I wasn't being ideal, because I just couldn't fathom that kind of energy at that moment. I was just getting out of the house. So I did it, and it was okay with me not great, but I got the idea that eventually I really got to the 3 times a week, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. So sometimes you do fail along the way. That's part of creating a new habit, though. Energetically, you're getting closer. And then all of a sudden, it was starting to feel good. And I was wanting to go 3 times a week. And now I'm very consistent with it. Once in a blue moon, I miss for whatever, reason. But for the most part, I'm, really great with it right now. And you can get there too. So I want to pause for a minute before I go into stacking habits, but does that make sense to you, Edith, and audience?
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, you asked me another question. Would you like me to go into that? I have a really interesting
Go ahead. Yeah.
thought. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That was about the stacking of the
Yeah.
habits.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
want to add to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's sort of almost a different topic in a way, but it's an addition on how to create a habit, healthy habits. So I doubt too many of you want to create unhealthy habits.
No,
No, okay.
no.
Not our
We
audience.
all got them.
Right.
Try to swap
So,
for good ones.
right. That's funny. We're making an assumption here. So, here we are and we want to create a healthy habit. So I'm just going to give an example. For me recently, I've been trying to take pause breaks off of the computer because I'm on my phone way too much as an online entrepreneur, a health coach, a life coach. And so I, was working with a coach and she said she knows I'm creative, but I wasn't really tapping into my creativity as much as I could because I was so busy. And she said, we're busy scrolling, right? So she said, why don't you just um, do a 15-minute thing at a certain time of day where you tap into your creativity, your writing in this case, writing poems. And I said, okay, but I'm going to do it with my coffee when my coffee's brewing. I'm going to do poetry. So that has worked beautifully for the last couple weeks. And I've been posting a lot of it online. I have to catch up on posting it, but it just comes from my heart. And I get like 3 poems out in 10, 15 minutes. It's kind of amazing. And I never thought that would work because it was scheduled, and I'm not really, that isn't in my past. That's not I resisted that constraint, but it actually is a freeing thing. So a habit stacking is something like I associate a positive association with my coffee and I can smell it and I'm looking forward to it. And that just is like, this habit is becoming so good. But can I tell you something? That I'm not perfect. I forgot today for the first time. I forgot. So I'm going to have to brew more coffee. No, I'm just kidding.
How many coffees a day? That's another
Yeah,
question.
right. It may not be the best thing. Maybe it will be while I'm drinking my tea. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Um,
thank you.
so, so I know you mentioned Tai Chi and you are a physiotherapist. So,
Occupational therapist.
occupa-
Yep.
sorry,
That's okay.
occupational.
Everybody does that. But I gotta, because no one knows what an occupational therapist is. I don't mind if you ask me about that. But anyway, keep going.
Go ahead, but I would love to. I would love you to explain like um, how did you choose to be occupational therapist,
Yeah.
and how did you find Tai Chi in it?
Great question. So, yeah, I actually just started back part time as needed as an occupational therapist in practice again in a nursing home. So people come from a hospital and there's some injury, and then, or it could be just weakness, whatever it is, and then they need some support for a few weeks or however long I evaluate the patient, and I'm looking very holistically at the patient, which is what's so beautiful, even mental health with occupational therapy. In fact, I just ran into one of my instructors the other day when I was watching a mental health thing with a journalist who goes around interviewing people who have mental health issues. And this instructor that I used to have, she was there. She's good friends with that person. And I got into a conversation with her. I know I'm getting a little off topic, but it was really amazing to me how it made me remember how good the program was, and how it trained us in all aspects of things, the physical and the mental health and the cognitive, which is why I was attracted to occupational therapy to begin with. So that's, that's the idea. Now, how do I use it now? Well, for example, I help people get stronger not only on the inside around boundaries, which I've had success helping people with, creating their standards and knowing how to relate to other people, managing their energy, but also on the outside, physically. So it can be like I'm working with somebody, this isn't always my specialty, but I'm working with somebody on who wants weight loss. And of course, the physical exercise, including weights and stuff, or whatever it is appropriate for them, decreasing their back pain, all that, which I've had success with, some of it comes from my occupational therapy background, some from my health coach training, some from my dietitian mother. But, so it's interesting, but you really have to start where people are at, is the key though, and look at them as capable is huge. It's very different from therapy, from mental health therapy, even though I have a knowledge of things because I was a psychology background as well, but I'm not a mental health therapist. So what's happening is when I have like this knowledge, I'm critically thinking in my head, but I'm also needing to really listen very carefully and ask powerful questions and look at the person as in their future self. I'll even do something called future pacing. So I'm seeing them as capable before they've even seen it sometimes. And sometimes just hearing their story, there's like, oh my God, I forgot I was so capable. They're in this, in their dog doo-doo or shit, Anyway, they're up to here, and instead we're looking at, look at this, like you're this beautiful soul, this beautiful person, and you always are, no matter what's going on in your life. We have seasons and, so forth. We have dark seasons and light seasons, and the tools that I build with people with my 7-step system really help them get out of those thinking type of dark periods, which I've sometimes been in, and that anxiety that we get into when we're in our amygdala, our lower brain, our survival brain, fight or flight, even when we're communicating with our kids. Because I started as a parenting coach because I have 17 and a 20-year-old. So I was trying to figure out in a gentle way, how do I parent my kids? And it's hard, but sometimes we overtalk, and this peaceful parenting actually is what the research shows is good. So that was nice that I didn't give in to the stuff that was so harsh. It didn't work for me. But sometimes it's about, just interacting with people after their body sense and their somatic sense, their nervous system is calm again. So even just breathing is beautiful. Like right now, if we took a breathing break, that would be supportive of me, you know?
Yeah, that's it's so
Yeah.
powerful. Sometimes we
Yeah.
do forget how to
Thank
breathe,
you.
especially during like busy day. It's like, come on, you've got to inhale.
Yeah. And exhaling is actually where you get the calm. People are always
And,
inhaling, and that's where the excitement comes from. But the exhale that's why I
oh,
often tell people it's just one way to breathe, by the way. So don't worry if you're doing it differently. But I often tell people exhale twice as long, blowing out through the mouth like you're blowing out through a straw. That helps for the calm. It makes a huge difference.
thank you. Thank you for being so generous, giving tips left and right. Beautiful.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. Yeah, well, I want people to benefit. I mean, a lot of people are really struggling these days, and it's painful to see people struggling. It's so hard for a lot of people, and it's hard for me to watch because I know there's tools out there that can be shared, and people don't always have resources.
yeah, they not even though we have quick access to internet, but once you start Googling, it's like, whoa, it can be
It's
over.
overwhelming for them too, though, and they don't
Yeah.
know where to turn. The mental health system is really not real good. My mission and my purpose ultimately, I'm a speaker, and really modernizing the mental health system and adding some more capability rather than being stuck in this diagnosis box that we're in. And, there's just so much that could be better, let's just say.
Yes, definitely. And I do hear that I don't know whether you've heard it, but in Canada, the mental health system is so much more advanced than anywhere else in the world.
Oh,
Uh,
no, I didn't know that. So
yes,
much
and
better, did you say?
much better, so
Oh,
much
I'd love to see that.
more
Yeah, I mean,
advanced.
I'd love to like research that a little.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I heard recently.
Okay. Thank you
And
for
all,
sharing that. That's so
yeah,
interesting. Huh.
yeah. I heard professionals here in the UK, they always refer to Canada being one of the hubs for mental health.
I've never heard that. And here I am. Isn't it funny the way one day you like learn something new that's can be so pivotal if we stop and
Yeah,
pause
yeah, yeah,
and
definitely
examine these things.
so much more advanced than anywhere in the world.
No kidding. Nice. That's nice to hear. That's very nice to hear.
So England wants to follow follow.
I kind of am laughing because my rabbi is from Canada and he just became a US citizen a few months ago. He waited for various reasons, but so he's been here a while. But it's interesting. I pushed him to do a mental health, initiative, and they're doing monthly, speakers. And it's really interesting. He's never mentioned about that. So I'd be curious to ask him about that. Yeah. Okay. That's really, really interesting. Huh.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what is your proudest moment so far in your career?
In my career,
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's a big question that I can figure it out though. If I don't overthink it. So, just hold on a second. I'm just going to breathe while I sort of intuitively tap into what my most proud moment is. Would you like to breathe with me? I'm going to inhale and then exhale twice as long.
Do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think my most proud moment was really at the beginning of when I started my journey as an entrepreneur about 6, 7 years ago, and I went to this. I started with an energy coach, and she had invited me to a business event. Her business coach, Amy Yamada, had a Dream Big event, and I went to it, and that was where I came up with the name with my roommates, the Tai Chi Health Coach. But I also came up with committing to Facebook Lives every week for 3 months when I got back. And I was able to do that consistently. And I was very proud of myself because I started out very nervous. Because, it's funny now, it's like second nature, but there have been times where I don't want to go. It depends on what's going on in your life too. But I hadn't really gone live ever, on social media. It was new to me. So it was scary the first time. And then it got easier and easier and easier. And after a while, I was answering the doorbell and someone said, you shouldn't do that. That's not professional. But, I'm pretty authentic. But yeah, sometimes I get to step up into the professionalism. I'm not, this is why I'm not in corporate. I'm an entrepreneur, but.
Exactly. You do you, and that's the
Right. Right.
that's all that matters. And
Thanks.
there is one more thing that possibly you might not have heard, but authenticity is much more powerful than even no, 4 times more powerful than love.
Then
So
what?
than love in wavelength, like a waves.
Oh, wow. Then love. Did you say
So
then
when
love?
you are authentic is
Ah,
more powerful than
oh,
just
wow.
loving, you know.
Amazing. No, I
So
never heard that before, but I know, like authenticity now, especially is held in esteem because so many people are shied away from that. I think their fear of, there's obviously lots of deep reasons why, but
yeah,
it's hard, it's like powerful. Actually, I just heard that in a talk from a really good speaker. They talked about vulnerability and something else, strength or power, how that was powerful in a leader, the vulnerability along with
Yeah,
other
Brené
stuff.
Brown always connects vulnerability and courage. Uh,
Yes, yes. And these days, the leaders aren't doing that so well, the big leaders. And that's a problem in the world. So we need to all step up into this compassionate leadership and
exactly.
connecting and letting people see us in our light, but also our darkness, and that they can be us. They can, like, we shift at any great time. Like, even if I'm standing up here, who knows, right? I mean, who knows, right? In a month or 2 months, maybe I would need your support, So we're all like that. It's not like one of us is better than the other. Yeah.
That is my vision, to create courage and power in the world. And
Wow.
amazing talents like yourself, amazing
Oh,
thoughts.
you,
So it's been
oh,
really beautiful.
thank you.
We still have about 5 more minutes. So so your story is just truly touching, really authentic. Can you tell us a little bit of what was one obstacle that you overcame when you started your business? Because we are in Courage Magazine Global, the purpose is to support women
Mm,
who are in business and who are just few steps behind us, so
hmm.
they can start
Yes.
earning.
Yes. No,
Uh,
that's a wonderful question. That's so important. The obstacle that I've overcome is really just being distracted by so many um, people asking for the sale, because everybody telling you need to invest in yourself as a coach, which I do, but knowing which things to do. I made a lot of mistakes that maybe they don't aren't actually mistakes, because everything's a big picture thing and led me to where I am. But knowing that I am more aware now that I get to spend time creating and not just consuming other people's stuff, number one. Number two, I feel like a lot of what happens is the marketing I'm understanding now. It's, you may not be in the step that the person marketing to you is in, and they don't know what step you're in. So trust yourself. Trusting myself is really, I think for me, that's something I've had to really overcome. I had a lot of self-doubt, and I've given up my business in full transparency for months at a time, just hiding. And I know, I think, oh, I'm just not cut out for this, because there's all this noise and all these people who say they have the answer, but that's their thing, their marketing. So be careful about that. Be aware, that you get to trust yourself, and also trust certain mentors if it feels right to you. And you find those authentic mentors, that's really gold. I've found those authentic people, and that's really important. When you become that person, you'll attract that person. And it's a lot of self growth that it requires. It really does. And we get kind of blocked up because our identity has to change. So there's a lot. There's a lot. It's not just a simple thing. Don't let anyone tell you it's just completely simple, but it's not impossible either. There's so much possibility and so worth it. So, yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And of course, you own leadership is a priority, and be
Yes,
trusting yourself that you make the right decision. And if
that's it.
something doesn't feel right, then don't go for it. Um, and
Exactly.
and yeah, there is a lot of noise out there, and
Yes.
people there are a lot of
Pe-
shiny objects.
There's a lot, and people lose. And don't be like so regretful when you do the wrong thing. Know that that's part of the journey. Sometimes it's going to bring you to the, just even if you get one thing out of it, it's going to feel like you wasted your money, but you're going to get that tiny bit. Maybe there's going to be a person you connected with that you wouldn't have. There's going to be a reason for it. So don't like live in that regret too much. I've done that. It's not a good place to be. Like, move forward, allow yourself to move forward, give yourself permission to have made a mistake that may not turn out to be a mistake in the long run. You've got to see it as a chapter in your life, is what I feel strongly now. as I'm kind of looking back, and again, I have growth to make. I'm not like this, like, oh, I've made it. It's not like the journey is like part of, if you're not enjoying the journey at all, then, pivot a bit, explore a little, maybe you're, you know, even just connecting more to yourself with the Tai Chi or the meditation or movement. Movement is medicine, taking a walk in nature or whatever it is for you that can shift your energy. It can be super simple. It can be super simple. That's huge to me.
Yes, thank you so much. And I know that you have a gift for our audience.
Yeah, I do. I actually have a gift that's great
Yeah,
for the holidays because holidays can be so stressful with relationships and stuff. This is actually really an amazingly useful gift. There's 10 steps or 10 things that you can do when the holiday stress is blocking your energy and you need to protect your energy. And it's very concrete. And not only that, but if you give me your email, you can also hop on a call with me where I can help you with one of those. If you want more further help with one of those, I'm offering that right now, complimentary to you. So
beautiful.
yeah, yes.
We will post the link under the interview, and
Yes,
feel free to connect with Debbie. She's always
yeah,
open
I am.
to
You can always direct message me because the link is going to take probably about a half hour before I drop it, but I'll say DM me before that. So look out for it. Okay, look out for it. All right.
wonderful. It
Yeah.
was so amazing to have you here in Courage
Thank
Magazine.
you, Edith. My pleasure. I can see, as I'm talking to you, how beautiful that you're allowing and supporting women and stepping into their boldness, just even by the way you question and the way you're so gentle in your tone and like lovely, lovely. I love it.
Thank you so much. And if anyone is watching, please connect. And also, we will be running a feature
Oh,
for Courage Magazine Global, and women get to be featured in the
yeah.
magazine as well.
Is it okay? I didn't ask you permission, but I have a special going on. Is it okay if I share that, or is that
Oh,
something I should share on my
go
own?
ahead.
What?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. So I have a pre-sale special before in the United States it's Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. So before Black Friday, you can get for just $72 both a coaching session as well as a month of support around the holidays for stress and managing relationships and all that stuff in Voxer or in Facebook Messenger voice, and I'm available. So I respond pretty quickly, and that will give you a taste of me. And after that, it's going to go up to Friday and Monday, it will go up to $111. So this is I don't normally offer this. Normally, it's more like a 90-day coaching program. So this is exciting to me for people, a great opportunity. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
And looking forward to connecting again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.